may recall that in the September 2006 program, Mastertech introduced viewers to the all-new 2007 Chrysler Sebring sedan. Well, this month we're going to give you a close-up look at the most recent Sebring model, the all-new 2008 Chrysler Sebring Convertible. It features a fully automatic convertible top that lowers with the push of a button and stores neatly and entirely within the cargo area. Of course, this all-new top means that there's an all-new folding mechanism, an all-new hydraulic system, and many other related service items that you'll need to be aware of. Hello, and welcome to Mastertech. In this month's program, we'll bring you up to speed on the Chrysler model that offers the latest in convertible top technology, the 2008 Chrysler Sebring Convertible. Because the 2007 Chrysler Sebring sedan was introduced to you in the September 2006 Mastertech release, this month's program will focus primarily on convertible top operation and the components related to that mechanism. As we describe the all-new convertible top, we'll point out some of the differences between the sedan and the convertible along the way. Now, we've got a lot to cover with you regarding the all-new 2008 Chrysler Sebring Convertible. So let's get the March program underway, beginning with the model lineup and the available convertible tops. Similar to the Sebring sedan, Sebring Convertible is available in 3 different trim levels: base, touring, and limited. These models will be equipped with 3 available convertible tops. The convertible tops include a soft top made of vinyl, a soft top made of cloth, and a 3-piece retractable hard top, which is constructed of steel. Both of the soft tops are referred to as CST, which stands for Convertible Soft Top, and the hard top is called an RHT, for Retractable Hard Top. Besides the convertible top, one of the differences that you'll notice between the Sebring Convertible and the Sebring Sedan is that the convertible is a slightly longer vehicle. In fact, the Sebring Convertible is 3 inches longer than the sedan. The extra length provides the additional space necessary for top storage. Next, let's take a look at how the all-new convertible top operates. Before we really get into the operation of the convertible top, you should know that there is a minimum amount of overhead space required for the top to function properly. The convertible top requires at least 8 feet of clearance to avoid contact with any object that might be in the way. The top can be operated in 2 different ways, either with an interior top switch or with a remote keyless entry transmitter. The interior top switch is located on the instrument panel just to the left of the steering column. The top can be lowered or raised using this switch. Similar to previous Sebring convertible models, the interior top switch has 2 positions for lowering the top and initiating smart glass operation. Depressing the switch to the first detent position lowers all fully raised windows approximately 10 millimeters, lowers the top, and then raises the glass to the fully raised position once again. If the windows are slightly down already when the interior top switch is depressed, they will be lowered to the 10 millimeter level. If the windows are already below 10 millimeters when the switch is depressed, they will not lower any further before the top begins to lower. Using the first detent position to lower the top is a one-touch operation. Depressing the switch to the second detent position fully lowers all windows, in addition to lowering the top. Using the second detent position to lower the top is also a one-touch operation. The interior top switch has only one detent position used for raising the top. When the switch is depressed, all windows will lower 50 millimeters from the fully raised position. If the windows are already below 50 millimeters when the switch is depressed, they will not lower any further before the top begins to rise. Using the interior top switch to raise the convertible top requires the operator to press and hold the switch until the top is fully closed. It is not a one-touch operation. If the operator continues to press the interior top switch after the top operation is complete, all of the windows will return to the fully raised position. Using the RKE transmitter for top operation is a little different than using the interior top switch. First, The RKE transmitter can only be used to lower the top, not raise it. And top operation with the RKE transmitter is not available on base 4-cylinder Sebring models. Using the RKE transmitter to lower the top on the Sebring Convertible is a 3-step process. First, you must press and release the unlock button. Next, press and release the convertible button. And then press and hold the convertible button until the top is completely opened. Lowering the top with the RKE transmitter also fully lowers all windows. You should know that there are a few conditions that may prevent the top from operating properly. The top will raise or lower only when the following conditions are met. The car must be stationary or moving at a speed less than 1 mile per hour. The rear deck lid must be closed and latched, and the luggage protector must be in place as indicated by a micro switch. We'll have more information about the several micro switches within the folding top mechanism a little later in the program. But right now, let's discuss the luggage protector. The folding luggage protector panel must be in place in the trunk before raising or lowering the top to prevent damage to the cargo or the top itself. When the luggage protector is in place, it closes a micro switch that allows the top operation to begin. If the switch is open, the system will not operate, and a warning message will be displayed to the driver in the odometer display or in the EVIC if the vehicle is so equipped. One more condition that may prevent the top from properly operating is cold temperatures. But similar to the micro switches, we'll come back to that a little later in the program. Next, we'll take a closer look at the mechanism that allows the convertible top to operate so efficiently. Both the hardtop and soft-top convertible frames are constructed primarily of die-cast aluminum. The soft-top mechanism includes a front header constructed of magnesium for added strength with less weight, while the hardtop front header is integral to the leading edge of the steel convertible top panel. On previous Sebring convertible models, the top latches were manually operated. On the 2008 Chrysler Sebring Convertible, the top latches operate automatically. The presenter plate, which is at the top of the windshield, secures the convertible top in position. Both tops, the CST and the RHT, include these automatic header latches that are operated by an electric motor. The latches are mounted in the presenter plate that remains on top of the windshield rather than in the top mechanism in order to keep the weight of the top to a minimum. The linkage geometry used in the CST and RHT folding mechanisms is similar, and both tops operate in a comparable manner. Right now, let's take a look at one complete cycle of the convertible top, along with a brief description of what's happening. To lower Sebring's convertible top, the first step is switch activation, either with the interior top switch or with the RKE transmitter. At that point, if the glass is up, it lowers to the appropriate level, and the presenter plate latch assembly unlatches as the deck lid reverse opens. On vehicles equipped with a hardtop, the panel-to-panel latches, which are the latches that secure the 3 hardtop panels together, also open at this time. The tonneau cover extends, and the top begins to retract. When they're clear of the presenter plate, the header latches close again as the top is lowering. This gives the presenter plate a smooth appearance. Once the top is stowed in the trunk, the deck lid closes and latches in position. The top operation is complete. The sequence of events for raising the top begins with interior top switch operation. If the glass is up, it lowers to the appropriate level as the deck lid latches release, and the presenter plate latch assembly opens to receive the top. The deck lid reverse opens, and the top begins to rise. Once the top is in the fully raised position, the header is secured to the presenter plate latch assembly. The tonneau retracts, and the deck lid closes and latches in place. On the hardtop, the panel-to-panel latches close to secure the 3 panels together. And once again, the top operation is complete. Weather seals are always important, but on some vehicles equipped with a convertible top, the seals can't always be as effective as they are on the sedan models. That's not the case with the 2008 Sebring Convertible. The CST and the RHT feature dual tubular bulb adjustable weather strips in the side rails of the top frame. The weather strips block out noise and water more effectively than the single tubular bulb weather strip used previously. Because the dual tubular bulbs surround the glass on both sides, Sebring convertibles include smart glass technology. For more information about smart glass, you may want to review the June 2004 Mastertech program. Another piece of glass that you'll need to know about is the electronic backlight, or EBL, in the Sebring convertible. On the CST and on the RHT, the electronic backlight is serviceable separately from the rest of the top, and the same glass is used for both. A defroster grid is fused to the inside of the EBL, so there are a couple of electrical connections that you need to watch for when servicing the glass. So far we've shown you how the convertible soft top and the retractable hard top are similar. However, there are a few differences between them, and we'd like to point some of those out now. One of the most obvious differences is that the RHT consists of 3 top panels that are constructed of steel and then painted. Because the top is in 3 sections, weather stripping is required between the panels for sealing, and the 3 top panels are held together by a panel-to-panel locking mechanism. This provides a rigid front-to-mid panel seal and mid-to-rear panel seal. The folding top and the panel-to-panel locking mechanisms are both hydraulic. Another variation between the CST and RHT equipped Sebring models is that when the top is lowered, the RHT uses 2 mechanical latches to hold the top in place, while the CST requires only 1 latch. Now let's take a look at the hydraulic system that moves the top mechanism. The action of the convertible top system is driven by a hydraulic pump located in the cargo area of the Sebring. The pump is located below the cargo floor behind the spare tire at the rear of the vehicle. An electric motor drives the high-pressure hydraulic system, which raises and lowers the top. On the RHT models, the pump provides pressure for 5 cylinders and 5 different lengths of hydraulic lines. On CST models, the pump provides pressure for 4 cylinders and 4 different lengths of hydraulic lines. The extra cylinder in the hardtop application is used to drive the panel-to-panel latches that we mentioned earlier in the program. The hydraulic pump requires a special hydraulic fluid. Aero-Vitamol ZHM is the only fluid that should ever be used in the system. Information detailing how to check the hydraulic fluid level or add hydraulic fluid to the system can be found in the service information. Another important point to understand about the hydraulic system is that there are cold weather temperature restrictions for the hydraulic pump operation. The hydraulic pump may also get too hot to operate. The pump may overheat if the top is cycled too many times consecutively, which usually means more than about 8 times in a row, again depending on ambient temperatures. If the pump does overheat, this will cause a top lockout until the pump returns to a safe operating temperature. Here's what you should do if the hydraulic pump ever does overheat. Wait at least 3 minutes before operating the power top again. After waiting 3 minutes, you may cycle the top once. If you wait at least 5 minutes after the pump overheats, you may then cycle the top 2 times. The time you wait between cycles is critical to allow the pump to properly cool. Well, it's time to move on to our next program segment, where we'll discuss the controls for the convertible top. A power top control module, or PTCM, monitors and controls raising and lowering of the top. The PTCM is located on the driver's side behind the rear seat trim panel. There's a different build configuration for the PTCM between the CST and the RHT models. However, you can change the PTCM configuration as necessary using a scan tool. If the PTCM is ever replaced, you must confirm that the module is configured for the appropriate convertible top. And if you replace a hard top with a soft top, or replace a soft top with a hard top, you must configure the PTCM accordingly. The reason that this is important is because if a PTCM that is configured for a hard top is now applied to a soft top, the soft top will not open completely. It will stop when the deck lid gets to the fully open position, because the sequence required for panel-to-panel unlatch criteria will not be met. If a PTCM configured for a soft top is used for a hard top, the hard top will open completely, but it will not latch, because the panel-to-panel latch criteria will not be met. In addition to the three previously mentioned items, the PTCM will lock out the power convertible top system if one or more of the following conditions are present: if the vehicle's charging system is malfunctioning, or if the battery state of charge is low. The PTCM also controls the rear quarter glass operation when raising or lowering the top. The front glass is controlled by the door modules. For example, when the top switch is pressed, that sends a hardwire signal to the PTCM to lower the rear quarter glass accordingly. At the same time, a bus message is sent from the PTCM to each of the front door modules with the request to lower the door glass. Aside from the ambient or hydraulic pump temperatures, some of the other conditions that will cause the PTCM to lock out the top operation were mentioned earlier in this program. If you remember, we said that the car must be stationary or moving at a speed less than 1 mile per hour. The rear deck lid must be closed and latched. And the luggage protector must be in place, as indicated by a micro switch. In the CST and RHT models, there are actually a series of micro switches and Hall effect sensors that verify that each operation is complete before allowing the next stage of top movement. The convertible soft top mechanism has 7 micro switches and 6 Hall effect sensors. And the retractable hard top has 9 micro switches and 6 Hall effect sensors. If any of these micro switches or Hall effect sensors fail, or if they do not register, the PTCM could stop the top movement. In the event of a micro switch or Hall effect sensor failure, a scan tool can override the system. Now, as you can imagine, with so many switches and Hall effect sensors within the top mechanism, the PTCM switch logic charts for the CST and RHT are fairly complex. The March reference book contains PTCM switch logic charts for the convertible soft top and retractable hard top, so you can get a better look at these charts there. Now let's take a look at the messages that inform the driver of the convertible top status. Messages about the status of the convertible top will be displayed either in the odometer or in the EVIC on models so equipped. There are several possible messages, and these can be broken down into 3 main categories as they relate to service. Some messages are displayed that require no action by the operator. Some messages indicate that action is necessary. And the last type of message indicates that there is a malfunction in the system that requires dealer service. The March reference book contains a helpful chart that indicates all of the convertible top related messages for the non-EVIC and EVIC equipped models, including any audible alerts and vehicle speed conditions that must be met. This information is also available to the customer in the owner's manual. If a dealer visit is required, depending on the situation, a scan tool may be necessary to raise or lower the top. In fact, right now we're going to take a look at some of the tools you'll need to diagnose the convertible top. And after that, we'll give you a quick look at some of the various adjustments that can be made. Before we begin this segment, we want to remind you that you should always review the latest service information prior to servicing the convertible top or any related component. With that said, the convertible top electrical components can be diagnosed using the scan tool and a digital multimeter. And the diagnostic trouble codes relating to the convertible top can be retrieved from the PTCM. The diagnostic procedures relating to the trouble codes are located in Group 23 of the service information. A list of the DTCs relating to the 2008 Chrysler Sebring Convertible Top can also be found in the March reference book. Earlier in the program, we told you that you can override the system using the scan tool if a micro switch or a Hall effect sensor fails. Well, the scan tool operation of the Sebring Convertible Top may be a little different than other systems that you can actuate in this manner. First, the actuators for the Convertible Top are not located under the Actuators button in the PTCM ECU view. Instead, they're located under Miscellaneous. Another difference is that this is a step-by-step actuation process. The Convertible Top cannot be fully cycled in either direction using the scan tool. Individual movements must be selected one at a time. Now, depending on what you find during your diagnosis, you may determine that you need to make adjustments to the Convertible Top. That's what we're going to look at next. If you determine that the Convertible Top requires service, you may want to make use of the service position for the rear deck lid. Service information will describe the proper method for placing the rear deck lid in this position. As you can see, the panel in this position allows easier access to the cargo area and all of the folding top components that reside there. The top may need to be partially cycled with the scan tool to access certain components, but for the most part, everything is easily reached. Servicing the top when it is partially cycled may be necessary, but you should also understand that there is an important safety precaution that must be followed whenever the top is in this position. Do not allow the folding top mechanism to remain in the suspended position for extended periods of time. Because the system is hydraulic, over time the top may very slowly drift down to the next mechanical resting position. You should refer to the service information for details about safely working on the Convertible Top when it is in a partially cycled position. So how do you determine if a top adjustment may be necessary? Well, some of the more typical ways to determine this include if top operation is restricted due to micro switch input or lack of input, if any of the panels make contact during the top movement, if the panel gaps appear too large or too tight, or if there is excessive wind noise or water leaks. Actually, a convertible top adjustment is one of the last types of adjustments that you should make if things just don't seem to be lining up correctly. It's not always the convertible top that's out of alignment. Sometimes a related component can be the cause. If adjustments are necessary, they should be performed in the following order to avoid causing misalignment elsewhere in the system. Begin with the rear deck lid. Next, the rear quarter panels, then the doors, the glass, the weather strip, and finally the convertible top. As you can see from this list, there are several adjustments that can be made to the Sebring's Convertible Top. For details about each one of these adjustments, as well as more in-depth information about the 2008 Chrysler Sebring Convertible, you should refer to the service information. For additional training focused on the 2008 Chrysler Sebring Convertible, we recommend that you visit the DCA Learning Center website and enroll in course number 114-0416, Advanced Body Systems. If you've already taken a previous Daimler Chrysler Convertible course, then you should enroll in course number 115-0508, Advanced Body Systems Update. That's all for now. Be sure to join us next month when our topic will be the new 3-liter V6 common rail diesel engine. Thanks for watching.